To the Point with Michael Williams.
Good morning. My guest today, Brian Crowley, our longtime News Channel 5 political analyst, and Antonio Finns, political editor for the Palm Beach Post. Gentlemen, good to always have you aboard here.
Thank you, Michael.
Want to talk analysis all day long with our two guests. Oh, guests, you're such regulars. I don't think I can call you that anymore. What a session it's been thus far in the legislature. Republican supermajority. They said they'd act on a wide range of issues. They've had a lot of support and a lot of controversy. A first top-of-mind thought from you, Brian.
Well, let me just start with, I've never seen a legislature like this one. You know, normally the legislators tend to be a little combative with the executive branch. They wind up doing more compromising and everything. I've never seen a governor like Ron DeSantis has the enormous control he has over this legislative session. Anything he wants, they do, and they do it quickly. I would say, you know, we'll get into individual issues in a moment, but I would say also, the public's right to speak before this legislature has been just awful. I mean, they've limited people to 5, 10 seconds to talk, 30 seconds to talk. I've never seen anything like that either. So it's a very unusual time in Tallahassee.
First take, Antonio.
Well, you know, one of my colleagues up in Tallahassee pointed out this week that for all that's been done, roughly about 1% of the bills that have been put forward have actually been passed. But boy, there've been quite a few doozies. You got a 6-week abortion ban. You've got the major expansion of the school voucher program. You've got
permitless carry,
and
culture wars,
all kinds of things going on. So it's been quite the legislative session. Even though, quite frankly, if you look at the number of bills passed, not that many.
All tailor-made, though many argue, to the fact that the legislature sees a governor who has presidential ambitions and is tailoring an agenda that fits that bill.
Sure, and it's working very well for him. That's an open question right now. How well this really is playing. He was in South Carolina. He was in New Hampshire. Yeah, he gets a lot of applause from the base. But when you go to a general election, we're starting to hear more and more people within the Republican Party ranks saying, "Whoa, 6-week abortion ban." You know, the don't say gay all the way to 12th grade, and people get
and Disney. And on those two topics, it's a wonderful jumping off point to some of the specifics on Disney and the education bill. Let's take a look at that. The expansion of the parental rights in education law, which critics have called the don't say gay law. And Forrest Saunders gives us a look, and then we'll pick up the conversation there.
Now, critics have considered this rule change an expansion of that controversial parental rights in education law that lawmakers put through last year, taking the K through 3 provisions and expanding them all the way up to 12th grade. But if you ask supporters, they say they're just trying to provide some academic clarity. It was unanimous Wednesday, the State Board of Ed adopting new ethical guidelines for public teachers in 4th through 12th grade classrooms.
The motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Show the amendment approved.
Under threat of license revocation or suspension, educators forbidden from intentionally offering, quote, classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity outside of optional health classes or where, quote, expressly required by state academic standards.
It's not changing anything. All it's saying is you're complying with our standards, and that's what you should be teaching.
Ed Commissioner Manny Diaz said the board is simply trying to, quote, provide clarity to Florida's teachers about what they can and can't do.
Conversation in the hallway, would that be covered?
Conversation in the hallway between who?
Between a teacher and a student.
Yeah, it's not classroom instruction.
But concerns remain, especially for LGBTQ plus advocates who think they or their children could be censored.
You cannot legislate these clothes off of my body, and you cannot legislate me out of the classroom.
John Harris Maurer with Equality Florida notes the rule doesn't define classroom instruction, leaving teachers, he says, with a dangerous vagueness.
Teachers, removing books from their classrooms, taking down safe space stickers, because they don't know where the boundaries are. And in an abundance of caution, we're seeing this chilling effect where teachers are overly self-censoring.
On the flip side, some see the change as strengthening parental rights.
Nobody knows your child better than you as a parent or a family member.
Jessica Graham, chair of the Hillsborough chapter of Moms for Liberty, felt teachers will get to focus more on education while sensitive conversations are left to school counselors or parents.
Everybody has the right to control the upbringing and the emotional well-being and age-appropriate content that their children are exposed to.
Either way, teachers, students, and parents will now have more than 30 days at least to prepare for the changes to take effect. Meanwhile, the legislature keeps advancing a complete ban on classroom instruction of gender identity and sexual orientation from K to 8th grade. The bill also includes limitations on preferred pronouns. Republicans do look to have the votes needed to get the policy to the governor. That's the latest out here at the Capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.
Also in politics, Governor Ron DeSantis in Disney World round 2, if you're counting, or maybe round 3, depending on how you count, or 4. It's a direct outgrowth of Disney's criticisms of the parental rights and education law, the Don't Say Gay law, as critics have dubbed it. We talked about all of this with our political leaders, Republican and Democrat, over the past few weeks. The DeSantis-appointed Central Florida Tourism Oversight District boards approved a resolution which gives them complete control over the special taxing district, as well as land development in the cities of Lake Buena Vista and Bay Lake. The move comes after the former Reedy Creek Improvement District Board had signed over its power to Disney before the state took over the district.
Regardless of your politics, nobody should favor outdated legislation that elevates a corporation above the public good. In seeking to improve the functioning of this district, nothing is off the table with this board.
At the end of the day, we made the decision as a state, as a people, through the medium of our elections, that we would not have one corporation serving as its own government.
A second reading and public hearing for the super authority resolution set to come up next week. So a lot to sort out, gentlemen, as we come back taking a look at Disney. Antonio, try and unsort all this for our viewers.
Well, first of all, it's very simple.
Or sort
this
out.
This is a political vendetta over one email, basically. The fact of the matter is, Michael, and I can tell you that because I have covered Disney and tourism off and on for 35 years. All these issues that you just heard them talk about, self-governance and having one major corporation dominating, that's been there for 35 years, ever since Disney really started a massive expansion of their property in the 1980s. But no governor, no legislature in the state ever cared about that, never wanted to touch Disney until a year ago, more or less at this time, when the so-called Don't Say Gay bill or the parental rights and education legislation was going through the legislature, and the former CEO of Disney sent an email to his employees, not to the rest of the state, just saying, hey, I wish I had spoken out early about this and I'm sorry. That's what sparked this entire fight over what is one of the most important economic engines in this state.
What does that say about the governor and his priorities? His supporters will say it says a lot. His critics will say he's fighting fights that really don't affect the average Floridian. Brian, you've heard it on both sides. What are your thoughts?
Well, there have been other indications, this being the biggest one with Disney, that he just gets angry. How dare Disney defy him? And this was revenge. The other interesting part about it was he got his revenge and everything, but then he wouldn't let go. And because Disney managed to outmaneuver him on his change to the Reedy Creek district, he's going after them again. As Antonio pointed out, one of the biggest employers in the state, one of the most successful enterprises in the history of the state.
One of the biggest taxpayers in the state.
They're planning on doing a lot more and a lot more expansion. I mean, and it's not like they've been harmful to the state in any way, so I don't understand why he's going after Cinderella.
And Mickey and the whole gang. But that's a whole nother broadcast. Antonio, talk about the aspirations, first leadership in the state, but also the aspirations beyond. We have a governor who we're all waiting to make the announcement he runs for president. He wins big in Florida, whether it's permitless carry, the abortion legislation that reduces from 15 to 6 weeks the period in which you could seek an abortion, whether it's the culture wars that we just saw, whether it's Disney. Obviously in Florida, the majority of voters like what they're seeing, but you see a possible disconnect there nationally, or will this continue to endear him to conservatives and help him build a base of support nationally that will take him a lot farther than we might have imagined?
Yeah, well, it's both of them. It's endearing him to the base, but we are seeing across the country people saying, hold up a second. In fact, the Republican donor, Thomas Fetterfee, just recently said, hey, I'm holding back because this is going, on abortion and some of these other issues are going too extremist. Look, this is going to play great in Florida. We know it plays very well in Florida. We know it plays well in Texas probably, and West Virginia and Kentucky. Maybe it all plays well in those states, but you got to win in those blue wall states, the Michigans. You got to win in the Wisconsins, you got to win in the Pennsylvanias, and maybe even North Carolina and Virginia could be in play. You know, this is not going to play so well in those states, and we're already hearing that already.
And so the question to follow up on that, is it a ready for primetime agenda for somebody seeking the highest office in the land? Your thoughts?
Well, I think that part of their formula that they're looking at is the fact that he won by 59% of the vote, the fact that when he ran for re-election, the
beat
fact
Charlie Crist
that
by what, 19 points?
19 points, the fact that it wasn't just that he pulled in some Democratic and independent votes, it was that Democrats sat on their hands. And I think he sees, had he just won by 51% of the vote, I think we'd have a different approach right now. I think he really believes that he's proven that he can bring in Democrats, he can bring in independents just enough to perhaps do well in some of these states that he'll need should he become the Republican nominee. Do I think he's also stumbling along the way, going too far with some issues? Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think the 6-week abortion ban could hurt him in some of these states. But then again, you know, we haven't seen a lot of protests from Democrats and independents in this state over the 6-week abortion ban. So if you're looking at that as a sign of what may happen in other states, you know, there hasn't been a lot of evidence that Democrats have yet gotten their act together. And as an aside, a lot of Democrats aren't sure they want Joe Biden to be the nominee. Yeah. And that's a problem.
Very briefly, because we're going to pick it up on the other side of the break.
I'm going to push back a little bit at that. You saw what happened in Wisconsin with the Supreme Court race, and abortion was big there. And let me just say one thing about this. There is also one Donald Trump who's still out there and has been racking up tons of endorsements in Florida. Yeah, and that basically he's out to prove that he is the alpha Republican political in the state.
And you have given us a perfect springboard to what will be the continuation of our discussion, gentlemen. As always, thank you for your expertise and experience. We're going to pick up on that thought right after the break. But first, on the other side of the break, changes to Florida's death penalty law. Next.